LaMelo Ball has been on a tear recently. After being sluggish in his first few games to start the season, he's been averaging 32 points per game over his last 8 games. No other player is averaging more points per game on the season, which if he keeps it up, means that LaMelo Ball would more than likely earn his first scoring title this year. Hey, what's happening everyone? This is Swish Culture. Notably, Joel Embiid is averaging 31.9 points per game, and KD is averaging 31.4 on the season as well. Because of that sluggish start, however, LaMelo is actually averaging 25.3 points per game on the season, putting him at 14th overall and rapidly climbing up the rankings. He jumped 3 spots in just one game. He's ranked 4th in points among point guards, ahead of Damian Lillard, Jalen Brunson, Kyrie Irving, Tyrese Halliburton, and a lot of other high-profile guards. He also has higher field goal efficiency than Trey, Lillard, and Brunson. With 8.3 assists per game, LaMelo is ranked 4th among point guards in that category and 5th overall. So, what non-point guard is ahead of LaMelo in assists? Silly question. Nikola Jokic. But it isn't by much, and there's more to assists than being a better passer. LaMelo is a premier passing guard, and your assists require that your teammates make their shots. So, are these 4 players better at playing the point, or is there another factor at play? I decided to take a look at the field goal efficiency of the team of the 4 players ahead of LaMelo to see just how efficient these players' teams are. If you're wondering why I chose to use field goal efficiency as opposed to true shooting, the answer is simple. Your assists count based on how many shots are made, not how many points. That being said, let's take a deep dive analysis into how LaMelo stacks up against the league's best point guards. So, LaMelo is ranked 5th. Number 1 on the list is Tyrese Halliburton with 11.6 assists per game. When you look at the field goal efficiency, you can see that the Indiana Pacers are 3rd overall with 49.6%, well ahead of the 15th ranked Charlotte at 47.2%. Your teammates score more, you get more assists. What does this mean specifically for the assist numbers? The Pacers actually score 5 more baskets per 100 possessions. The Pacers are actually leading the league in pace as well, with over 104 possessions per game, on top of a cool 30 assists per night. Halliburton gets 39% of his team's assists, so those additional 5 assists per game based on player field goal efficiency means Hally gets an additional 2 assists per game simply because his team shoots better. This isn't to discredit Halliburton whatsoever, as he is also an elite passing guard that shoots 50% from the field to LaMelo's 44%. With a usage rate of 25% compared to LaMelo's 32%, the ball is often in someone else's hands in Hally's case, making him more of an off-ball player than LaMelo, which often leads to more efficient points, whether it's catch and shoot or cutting. With the lack of creativity outside of LaMelo on the Hornets, it's no wonder. What I'm saying, if you haven't already figured it out, is that these 2 players are more alike than most people are willing to admit. Trae Young is 2nd in assists, while the Hawks are ranked 10th in efficiency. Fred VanVleet is ranked 4th on the list of assists, while the Rockets are ranked 17th in efficiency. But considering he's a limited scorer, averaging just over 16 a game, he's a player that is much more effective finding his teammates. Jokic is 3rd in assists, and his Denver Nuggets are ranked 2nd overall in field goal efficiency. The Hornets are ranked 16th in efficiency, just ahead of the Rockets. There's a clear advantage here to having your team make their shots. No other point guard on any other team that I've mentioned is averaging more assists while carrying the same scoring load. Luka is ranked right behind LaMelo in assists while averaging 30 points per game. The Mavericks are ranked 9th in field goal efficiency. No other starter is averaging over 8 assists per game, and as a matter of fact, Chris Paul is next in line, averaging 7.7 assists while mostly coming off the bench. The benefit of Chris Paul is that he's not really required to score, so by default, he boosts the scoring of the bench unit while his scoring takes a bit of a backseat. Now, some might say LaMelo is chucking up shots in a bad team. Considering he's shooting 39% from distance on the season, I'd say he's in his right to let it fly. Additionally, LaMelo is currently 2nd in the league behind only SGA in terms of drives per game with 18.5 at over 51% efficiency. And while he's top 5 in the league in points scored on drive attempts per game, he's nowhere near the top in free throw attempts. As a matter of fact, he's all the way down here in the 21st spot with 2.2 free throw attempts per game. That means when LaMelo drives to the basket, he doesn't get calls at the same rate as his peers. Gordon Hayward, his teammate, is getting the same number of free throws despite making exactly half the drives LaMelo is making. Luka Doncic, by comparison, is making just under 15 drives per game, 3 less than LaMelo, which places him at 13th on the list, but 16th in terms of free throw attempts, which is 5 places higher than LaMelo. Zion Williamson with 16 drives per game gets to the line more than LaMelo, so this really shows the inconsistency in the calls. It's not just LaMelo that doesn't get these calls, however. Halliburton doesn't get them, and neither does Cade Cunningham. These are guys I consider to not have much flop in their game. So how much help do these players have on their respective teams? LaMelo's Hornets are currently 19th in offensive rating, but dead last defensively. Their net rating puts them in the bottom 5 in the league. They need more from their offense, but an infinite amount more from their defense. The Pacers, by comparison, while they're ranked 26th defensively, they make up for it somewhat with their offense, which is ranked number 1 in the league. Lucas Mavericks are top 3 in offense, bottom 6 in defense. The Houston Rockets buck the trend, coming in at 6th in defense and 17th in offense. The Hawks are 6th in offense and 21st in defense. And lastly, the Nuggets, 8th in offense, but also 8th defensively. This places the Hornets as a team squarely at the bottom of the pack, and unless you're Thanos, dragging a team ranked in the bottom 5 to the playoffs is downright impossible. What sets LaMelo apart from the rest of the point guards is this.
Drew Holiday listed at 6'4". LaMelo sneaks inside. Left hand.
LaMelo goes ISO with Sam Hauser, rocks the baby to sleep, and creates an opening, then tries to get the offhand layup like he usually is. Over the top. And on the rebound, the poke away, no dribble, an immediate behind the back pass had me at the edge of my couch on my toes like, no! LaMelo just threw it away. Oh my God, that was incredible. But Showtime wasn't over. The Celtics are supposedly one of the best defensive teams in the league, but LaMelo's in the kitchen. Drew Holiday steps up to get a plate and he gets served a tall order of chicken foot soup. LaMelo dines up the defender and finishes with the sauce on a meal so good, all you could see is oof. What really matters though is that the Hornets got the win on this huge effort by LaMelo. This was the best game of LaMelo's career. The truth is, he's a lot more fun to watch than any other point guard on this list, and for those wondering about Steph Curry, he's a different type of point guard for a different type of debate. These players have a team built around their vision primarily and secondarily their scoring ability. A lot of pick and roll and half-court sets with a guard that is surrounded by players that can hopefully score when given that opportunity. The Warriors are somewhat different and play Curry as more of a combo guard as he's the best player to score. Steph's game forced the Warriors to evolve beyond the typical point guard, but it helped to have the right pieces. Right now, the Hornets need a major overhaul. LaMelo needs at least one second player on the team in that starting lineup that can facilitate and score at a high level, or facilitate and play defense at an all-NBA level. Brandon Miller could be the second option on the team, but being this is his rookie year, that'll take some time. By the end of the year, it's very possible he finishes second in the Rookie of the Year voting as he's a very special talent. Still, they would need another player who is a high-level defender. Once they get those 2 or 3 pieces, the Hornets could compete at a high level. Until then, we may have to watch LaMelo spice up a fun lottery team for the rest of the season. Let me know who you think would be a good fit in Charlotte beside LaMelo. Post your thoughts in the comments below, but don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Swish Culture, and turn on all your notifications so you don't miss any of my latest uploads. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Swish!